Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. Story number 1. A Peaceful Upheaval, written by Marilyn of Many. The mutiny started politely enough. This was a courier ship, not some rowdy bandit cruiser, and the dozen or so people on board approached the situation with all the calm level-headedness of business folk at a board meeting. The captain was new. He was bad at this. He'd only gotten the job because his cousin had recommended him, and she was probably regretting that. "We will discuss the matter with Captain Can when we land," said Piercing Sunlight, the lizard-like heat-seeker with bright yellow scales. She was taking point in this conversation. "Cam doesn't have to hear about this," objected Captain Pocap, his green tentacles gnashing in agitation. "All of you need to go back to your stations and reconsider how you talk to your captain." He looked like an octopus with freckles, and he sounded like a petulant child. "Did you not hear the statement?" Z asked, with an irritated click of his pincher arm. His patience never seemed lengthy, but now it was getting shorter by the minute. "You are no longer our captain. We have decreed it." His exoskeleton shone with a purple glory, and he radiated annoyance. The rest of the crew spoke up, agreeing in one way or another. Teeth were bad, and body parts I didn't have made increasingly urgent threat displays. I, the only human and the newest arrival on the team, stayed well in the back. This really wasn't my business. I didn't have much of a say, and I didn't like the direction it was going. When Pocap, the ex-captain, started yelling, I gave up on playing silent witness and ducked into the next room. I'd seen him pull the tiny stun gun out of nowhere, hidden amongst his tentacles, and I didn't like the odds of him opening fire on the crew. Just as I thought that, he yelled, "Who emptied the charge in this?" Then came out a loud slap of a tentacle against someone's face, followed by insulting grasps and an open brawl. I edged further from the door, looking around and realizing I'd trapped myself in the storage room, where the extra stun guns were kept. Great choice, stellar, and there was only one door. Time to be hide-and-seek champion, I thought, as the sounds of alien voices grew closer. Somebody else gets to wrestle the octopus with a gun. My hiding options weren't great. Under a table, behind a crate, maybe inside a cabinet, and the ventilation shaft was too small. The table and crate were terrible coverage, and the cabinet with the stun guns was close to the door, but the one against the far wall looked big enough. I dashed over and flung it open. Yep, that'll do. Only the bottom shelves were full. The top 3 held just a couple stray tools, and I knew from time spent cleaning that the shelves were removable. I yanked out the top 3 ones, stashed them below, then climbed in and curled up in space that was roomier than my childhood closet. I crouched amongst wrenches and whatever, watching through the air slits as I pulled the door shut, making sure to keep it from latching. Locking myself in was another problem I didn't need. Speaking of problems, I thought as Pocap spun into the room, his green tentacles thrashing against Mur's dark blue ones in a cartoonish tumble. I'd never seen 2 strong arms fight before. It was kind of funny. They were slapping at each other's faces and going for the eye gouges, which meant that neither could see where they were going. They knocked over the table and spread tools all over the floor before anyone else caught up. When the twin Frillians waded into the breaker up, followed by other beefy crew members, an unfortunate development happened. Pocap found a stun gun. "Back off!" he shouted, blasting the nearest Frillian in the face and wriggling free of Mur's grasp. Mur ducked behind a box while the other Frillian caught her frozen brother before he could hurt himself against the floor. Pocap froze her too, then brandished the gun at everyone else, yelling about how much the stun would hurt when it wore off, and how they were better to respect him or else. I held very still inside my cabinet. What can I do? I thought. Too bad I can't call the other ship from here. Nobody's told Cam yet. I shifted in place to keep my feet from falling asleep and nudged the random tools I hadn't cleared out. I froze at the scraping noise. No one heard it. They were all busy shouting at each other. What even is this one? Oh, hey! I rested my hand on the distinct shape of another stun gun. Whoever put things away last time did a terrible job, and I thanked them for it. I held it up to the dim light, half-powered, good enough for self-defense or... "One step closer and you are spending the rest of the trip as a statue," Pocap was yelling. "Only thawing out to hurt before getting frozen again." I opened the door just enough to snake my arm through, aimed and zapped him in the back of the head. Picap froze mid-rant and slowly toppled forward. Stunned silence filled the room until somebody saw my head. "Ha!" Sunlight laughed. "It's the human in there! How'd you get a fit? Great shot!" I opened the door the rest of the way to a loud approval, with half the crew exclaiming over the way their tall new crewmate folded up so well, and the rest dealing with Picap's mess. "No amicable splitting of ways for this one," Mo declared, cradling his sprained tentacle. "I won't be writing him a reference." "No, I don't think any of us will," Sunlight said. She gazed at him thoughtfully as I climbed down. "Let's call Cam. No point in waiting till we land. She'll want to know." "I'll put the stun guns away," I volunteered. "This cabinet is full of things in the wrong place." "Thank you," Sunlight told me. "How did you fit in there? You have bones. Have you practiced hiding in tight spaces before?" "No more than the next person," I said, "though I was really good at hide-and-seek as a kid." The lizard alien blinked at me. "Hide and, what?" "It's where everybody hides and one person has to find them," I explained. "Then the last person found has to take the turn as a seeker." Z tipped the table back upright with his pincher arm. "Half of that sounds like a standard Predator game, but I can't imagine taking turns being preyed to. How embarrassing." I shrugged. "If you say so. It was pretty useful today." "Yes," Sunlight said with a smile. "You're only prey until you decide otherwise. That's the spirit. Well, we're grateful for your childhood practice today. Let's get this unworthy individual locked up, then talk strategy. I have some ideas how we can improve the Pockup's business plan that I think everyone will be on board with." I had no doubt Captain Piercing Sunlight would be a much better leader than her predecessor. She started off by giving me a bonus for putting my skills to good use, so clearly she was very wise. End of story. Story number 2. Totally Regular, written by Devourer Qui. "Settle down, class," said the professor, puffing his crest out and spreading his tentacles in welcome. "Welcome to Human History 101, where we will Stop!" His crest deflated and the tentacles flopped to the floor with an ungraceful thwop. "Stop! Stop! Why stop? I haven't finished the intro yet." The producer's aggressively tired sigh filled the room. "Look, I know we have a reputation for green lighting literally every pitch we get, but, come on, the whole professor recites human history shtick. Really?" Tentacles quivered in agitation. "It's a good motif, yeah, which is why we have— Hey, you!" She pointed at an aide. "How many of those do we have?" The average of 3 per species, give or take." "An average of 3 per species, give or take," she repeated, glaring at him. "Yes, but my proposal is exactly the same as all the others, but with some new twist. That showcases a tired old trope that we've already seen because all ideas are derived, and nothing is new anymore. Look, I get it. Humans are dead and gone, and they did all these really great things, and they were so interesting. And you are standing in the pitch room of a TV mecca that is 30 rocks, so, for Bob's sake, could you please try be original?" His crest stood up on end again. "Okay, how about this? There was this unstoppable, intergalactic threat." She tilted her head and glared much more gleefully. "And, humans were just regular people." The head untilted. "That everyone was, scared?" The crest vibrated. The tentacles wriggled. "Everyone was scared!" He trilled in triumph. She pondered for a moment. "The humans were scared, too?" Yes." "And they were just regular people?" "Yes, regular. Totally regular." Another moment of pondering, and she stood up on all 8 and clapped her interior pedipalps together. "Okay, I can work with this. I'm thinking an ensemble cast. Same made from before, talk to casting. I want to set a record for diversity, and everyone is going to die. So you're okay with everyone dying, right?" she asked him. "Yes," he said blankly. "I'm okay with that." "Excellent. I have a good feeling about this one. We're finally going to win Netflix's first Emmy for Outstanding Drama." End of story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.